Good day, welcome to another video. We are continuing with functions. Specifically, we're doing inverse functions. So here, question 2, we're given f of x being equals to 2x minus 7, and then we are asked whether it's a function or not. So 2.1, yes, it is a function because why? It passes a vertical line test passes, right? It passes the vertical line test. Okay, since if you were to draw it on a graph, what you'll notice is what it's that it is a line that is basically like this, right? So it does pass the vertical line test, since the vertical line only touches one point, right? Everywhere touches one point, so it does pass. Okay, and then let's move to 2.2. You say write down the domain in range of f of x. Okay, so let's start with the domain. So the domain is basically access to the element real numbers. Why is that? If you look at the x values, right? Okay, this is the xy plane. If you look at the x values, they go infinitely to the left and then infinitely to the right? Okay, and then also speaking about the range, y is to the element real numbers. Why is that? It goes infinitely down and then infinitely up, right? So it is y is to the elementary numbers, or real numbers applicable. And then 2.3, they say determine the inverse graph. Okay, inverse function. So we know that f of x equals to 2x minus 7, right? Therefore, what becomes our inverse? We know that we're starting with y equals to 2x minus 7, which is this right here. Then here we interchange x and y, or we swap them to find the inverse, right? So we therefore have x equals to 2y minus 7. From this we get x plus 7 being equals to 2y. Divide both sides by 2. You end up with y being equals to basically it's half x, right? Yeah, half being a gradient, and then plus 7 over 2. Okay, so yeah, therefore our inverse function is basically half x plus 7 over 2. Okay, and then 2.4, it is said that you must draw this on the same set of axes. Okay, so drawing these on the same set of axes, yeah, I will try to skip the part of actually finding the points, but basically if we were to look at it, let's start with the f of x graph, right? Now I'm skipping the step of finding the intercepts, but then with this one, what we notice is what the y-intercept will basically be -7, right? So we know that there is -7. Okay, and then the other intercept will basically be 7 over 2 if you are to transpose the 7 and divide by 2. So 7 over 2 will look like something like this. Okay, so this will basically be the graph. Okay, graph of f. And then with the other one, the gradient is half, and then we know that it basically, okay, this one we know that it basically touches the y-intercept, the y-axis, at 7 over 2, right? And then what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept, if you have to transpose 7 over 2 and divide by 2, or multiply by 2, either way, you basically find -7, right? So this one, it's a graph that looks like this. Okay, passing through here. So yeah, this is our point. 0 is to 7 over 2, and then sorry, -7 is to 0. Here we have 7/2:0. And then here we have 0:-7. So that is the sketch. Okay, and then 2.5. 2.5, they say give the equation of the line of reflection between the two graphs and indicate this line on the graph using a broken line. Okay, so basically 2.5, I'm just gonna draw it here. It is basically a line like this, right? Of which this line, we know it is what? It is y is equals to x. Okay, so yeah, that is the line that is speaking about, which is the line of reflection. And this line, notice that both graphs are the same distance, right, from the line. They are the same distance. Okay, yeah, so kindly note that. And then now that we're done with that one, we can just then do our question 3. Okay, so in number 3, they're asking, we're given the inverse graph, right? And then from the inverse, we now have to therefore derive the original function. So how do we do that? So the inverse graph is given as -2x plus 4. And then they say determine f of x. Okay, so remember that for us to find the inverse graph, we basically have swapped or interchanged x and y, right? So even to go back, basically, you can do the same thing. So f of x will therefore be, we're starting with y is equals to -2x plus 4. So we'll have to interchange the two. So we therefore have x being equals to -2y plus 4. And then from this, we get x minus 4 being equals to what? -2y. Divide by -2 and then divide by -2. Therefore, y is equals to -12x plus 2, right? So basically f of x is equals to -12x plus 2. Okay, I hope that made some sense. And then now the very last question, which is a bit tricky. We are given f of x and then we are given the graph of g. And then we are asked that where basically does their inverse graphs intercept. Okay, so here the first thing that we have to do is to start with deriving the inverse graphs for both graphs, right? And then we can therefore know what is their intercept. So for this one, for the f graph, what is its inverse? Its inverse is gonna, let's start with y equals to 2/3x. Therefore, inverse interchanging, we get what? X is equals to 2/3y. Therefore, y is basically 3/2x, right? And then with g of x, which is equals to -3x minus 9, the inverse graph, we find, okay, the inverse graph, we find that we're starting with y equals to -3x minus 9, right? But then now interchanging, we get x being equals to -3y minus 9, okay? And then from this, we therefore get x plus 9 being equals to -3y. Okay, and then from this, what do we get? Divide by -3, divide by -3. Therefore, y is equals to -1/3x minus 3. Okay, so now going back to grade 11, we know that to find the points where these two graphs intercept, we will basically have to equate the two functions, right, or their y values rather. So this is basically equating the y values So we start with 3 over 2x being equals to negative 1 over 3x minus 3, okay? And then from these, 3 over 2 plus 1 over 3, this is 11 over 16x, which is equals to negative 3, okay? And then let's just multiply both sides by 6. Therefore, we get that 11x is equals to negative 18. Okay. Therefore, what is x? X is equals to negative 18 over 11, right? So from this, we know the x-intercept at which they meet, but then what is the respective y? We know that y will basically be 3 over 2, right? And then what is x? Negative 18 over 11. Okay. So let's multiply 3 over 2 times negative 18 over 11. That gives us negative 27 over 11. So this is the respective y value. Okay. Yeah, so we are done, guys, and then determine the points as they had asked. So the points will basically be what? Negative 18 over 11 is to negative 27 over 11. Okay. Yeah, no, thank you for watching the video till the end. Kindly stay tuned to watch more interesting maths videos. Thank you.